So how do we take advantage of this? I'll go down to the daily time frame. I'll put a zone around here. All right, then I'll go to the 4-hour time frame. To buy, I would like to see price break above the 145.023 area. Then I'll catch it on the pullback, and then hopefully price moves up into our bullish target. Welcome back, guys. I've been talking about USDJPY being bullish for the longest, right, for the past couple of weeks. So even if many of us didn't agree with that bias, but so far so good, price has been moving in our direction. All right, so you can see how last week price broke out of our resistance level, came back for the pullback, gave, even though it looks like it was manipulating to the downside, gave a bullish engulfing back above that zone, and see how price has continued trading to the upside, and it is at our first target for the longest, right? If you've been watching my videos for weeks now, I've been talking about this area, right? And now price is trading at that region. Now going into next week, what do I expect? Of course, price is creating new higher highs and new higher lows, which is the characteristics of a bullish price action, right? So going into next week, I would like to see price continue higher, which means what I would like to see from price is for price to continue higher, break out of this 146.113 area properly. Then we want to catch it on the pullback before we continue trading into the target I've been screaming for weeks now, being 147.935. But now, right now, price is trading within this obvious 4-hour resistance, which is between 146.113 and 145.729. So two things can happen. You see that you wait for price to, if you've been holding, of course, keep holding. But if you've not been holding and you just want to join the bullish trend, wait for price to break out properly, then you catch it on the pullback and then trade to our target. However, since this is a 4-hour resistance, and I'd used this zone as an area of target for the past couple of weeks also, so price may want to maybe drop off from there, so we have to be prepared for that possibility too. So I would advise you wait for price to create a change in market structure. All right, so kind of push lower, give a lower high, and then a new lower low. Then you want to catch it at the pullbacks, either of these two areas. All right, so price has to progress for that to happen. So, but I am more bullish than bearish on USDJPY for now, especially due to the fact that on the weekly time frame, price just gave a massive bullish engulfing candlestick, right? And if we go to the monthly time frame, price is bouncing off an area of support, right? A monthly area of support that has been respected multiple times. And if you watched my first video for the month of June, I actually talked about anticipating a bullish month on USDJPY, and so far that's what has been happening. So that is that on USDJPY. Before we go on to the next pair, which is BTCUSD, this video is sponsored by Headway Broker, one of the finest brokers around. So you want to check them out. Their spread is super cool. I've tried them out myself. The spread is very, very fantastic compared to many other brokers in the industry, right? I'll take you to BTC because you're going to see me trade them on BTCUSD so that you can see how tight their spread is. But in the meantime, let's talk about the fantastic bonus they offer to their customers, right? They offer 75% deposit bonus, right? You can look them up. If you scroll all the way down, you can even calculate your bonus before you deposit, right? Now here, this is the calculator. If you're making a deposit of $50, right, you get $87. That's a 75% bonus right there, right? If you're depositing $1,000, then you're getting an extra $750. So which means you are going to be getting $1,750 in your brokerage account. Now you may be wondering, can I withdraw that profit? Of course, you just can't deposit and then withdraw the profit. So you need to meet up with some mild rules, right? So once you meet up with those rules by placing some trades, profitable trades, of course you can withdraw everything. All right, so you should check them out. They are properly regulated. So register with them. The link is going to be in the description of this video down below, and also in the pinned comments down below. So you should go check them out. Make sure you open an account and make a deposit to grab this deposit bonus. All right, so that being said, let's go to their platform and test how they are spread on the next analysis, which is BTC USD. All right, so on BTC USD, this is their MT5 platform. That's Headway Brokers MT5 platform. So first of all, I want to look at the monthly time frame on BTC USD. So obviously you can see that on BTC USD, price is trading at a resistance area. This is the highest BTC has ever been to. It was there sometimes earlier this year, then price dropped off and it is back there. So should you be anticipating a drop off? Of course you should. I'm not saying we are going to collapse all the way down, right? But at least we should expect a little bit of correction before price continue on its way to the upside, because like it or not, BTC is an uptrending asset, right? So far you've seen that happen over time, right? So price is trading at a resistance area on the monthly time frame, which is a solid resistance area. Now if we go to the weekly time frame, we are seeing some stalls just like we've seen before. If you look left, right? So right now, for the past how many weeks? 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the fifth week. This is the fifth week, and price has been bearish. You can see some red candles around that resistance area. So I'm still anticipating some sell from that region. Now going to the daily time frame, you can see that price is bouncing off that zone. Now when we are doing our analysis, we want to be able to anticipate our target, right? So I am actually hoping to see price drop into 100,479.54 area, right? Once again, I'm conducting this analysis on the Headway platform, the MT5 platform, right? So but before we drop into that zone, I am anticipating a mini pullback on the lower time frame that will take us down to the 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, let me zoom out a little. I have mapped out this zone. In fact, let me zoom out some more. I've mapped out this zone on the 4-hour time frame around here. You can see some reactions around the left here, and also around here we can see that price bounced off that region previously, then price broke below that zone, sold off from that region before breaking above. Coming back down again, we saw some kind of reaction, and we can see the rejection here again. Now first of all, I won't be surprised if I see price sell off from here, but due to the facts here being 104,025.42, price may sell off from there into our target of 100,479. But due to the fact that, hey, I'm not comfortable putting my stop loss around here, I would like to see a deeper pullback into these regions of 107,149.31 and 106,013.24. All right, so I would like to see price pull back into that region so that we can have a huge sell-off area to our target, once again being 100,479.54. all right, so my point is I am bearish on BTC for now. All right, so that is that on BTC. So the next on our list is AUDUSD. Now you may be wondering, why am I looking at AUDUSD today? It's due to the fact that on Monday, with the students of the mentorship program, we conducted some analysis on some pairs that wanted to trade. The ones analyzed in the weekly video, I wasn't getting the vibe I needed. So, but we saw an opportunity on AUDUSD. You can see the signal right on your screen right now. So we called out our trade, and our profit was hit. So I thought, okay, you know what? Let me bring it to the public space, right? Now on the weekly time frame, we can see that price is trading around this resistance area that has been respected historically, right? And that was part of why, if there were certain things that came together before we took the sell, not just because we are trading at an area of resistance. Anyways, our target was hit, blah blah blah, but I still think price has enough room to fall to the downside. So I still think price may drop into this region, which is between 0.63986 and 0.63602, right? So I still think price will drop into that zone. I'm looking at this top zone here of 0.63986 first. So let's see how that plays out. But how do we take advantage of this? I'll take you to the daily time frame. Let's see what's happening on the daily time frame. The daily time frame is also still dropping off. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, I'll plot a zone around here. Then I'll put 2 lines here. Then I'll also put 1 line at the top here. Now, this is a tricky one. This is why you should enroll in our mentorship program. The next batch is coming up next month. So you should be able to know how to do this for yourself, right? So what I'm trying to say here is this, right? If price breaks, if a 4-hour candlestick breaks below the 0.64466 area, right, then we want to go to the 15 minutes time frame, wait for the pullback, stop loss above 0.64536 area, right? Then we trade into our target of 0.63986 area. That would be how many pips drop? That would be about almost 50 pips, about 50 pips drop to the downside, right? So we want to capitalize on this on the 15 minutes time frame. Another area to sell could be price could take off from here at market open next week, pull back into this area of 0.64935 before selling back down. I would prefer this second option because it provides us with a long way to the downside, a long space to trade to the downside. All right, so this is my view on AUDUSD going into next week. The next on my list is EURUSD. If price decides to come for a deeper pullback, then I'm just going to put this zone around here. So hopefully if price is coming for a deeper pullback, then I'd like to see price come into here before we take off, and that area is around 1.14583 and 1.14378 before. Welcome back, guys. You can see how price pulled back into the 1.14583 and 1.14378 area before buying to the upside. Now, going into next week, what should I be expecting? Remember, in the beginning of this month, I was initially bearish. I said I was going to remain bearish until price breaks above 1.15233, and that happened last week. So I was expecting the momentum to continue, which is very, very possible. But due to the kind of slow movement we are seeing on the 4-hour time frame, I will still keep that bearish side of things open while we also remain bullish. So I'm going to be giving 2 scenarios in this analysis. First of all, on the daily time frame, this is a nice bullish price action: high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, right? Looks like price will easily just continue higher. So if you are holding the bullish move already from last week, based on my analysis, keep holding. All right, keep holding, or try to take profit maybe around these highs here. All right, so price can still easily just continue higher. But let's say next week kicks in, because if we are bullish and price starts going bearish, should we just sit on the sidelines and not make money? Of course, we should be prepared. At least as traders, we should be able to know, okay, this is where I'm going to be making this decision if this happens, right? So that's exactly what I'm going to be showing you here. So if price breaks below the 1.14378 area on the 4-hour time frame, you want to catch it on the pullback, stop loss above 1.14583, and TP is all the way down. All right, TP is all the way down. All right, we can use here as our initial take profit level, which is around 1.12335. all right, so that's if price goes lower. But for the bullish side of things, especially if you're looking at it from the daily time frame perspective, price looks like it's going to jump higher easily. All right, that sell scenario is just in case that doesn't happen. But if you're holding the buys, keep holding, because that's the safest bet for now. That being said, let's go to the last item on our list for this week, which is GBPUSD. I've not said much on GBPUSD for the past couple of weeks. Just on the sideline. If you've been watching the videos, you would know. But for the fact that price dropped into this zone after a massive sell-off, by the way, if you look at the weekly time frame, looks like going with market structure, price is trying to go for a pullback, right? Look at this high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So price may come for a higher low somewhere below this zone, even somewhere below this zone, even. I'm also going to be giving a bullish and bearish scenario on GBPUSD. All right, so if price is committed to bouncing off this support level here, then I'll put a zone above price like this, and I'll only be interested in buying above here. All right, maybe we should even refine this zone. Let's put it here to be safe. So let's play safe. So if price, for whatever reason, this within these two zones will be our do nothing area, except if you have a strategy like the less trade strategy that can help you take trades regardless. But if you don't, for analysis sake, just wait for price to break above 1.35007 on the 4-hour time frame, then catch it on the pullback on the 15 minutes time frame and trade into these obvious highs here. All right, so that will be the bullish scenario. For the bearish scenario, wait for 4 hours price action to break below 1.33843, catch it on the pullback, stop loss above 1.34148, then TP around here. Why there? If I go back to the weekly time frame, looks like price may attempt this previous zone here, which is around 1.33116 before it takes off on the weekly time frame. So we should be able to detect that. We should be able to capitalize on that on the 15 minutes time frame if price breaks below that 4-hour zone. This is the 15 minutes time frame, by the way, but if price breaks below this 4-hour green line, we'll have at least a 60 pip drop to the downside if we catch it on the 15 minutes time frame. All right, let's go back to the 4-hour time frame so that I show you the zone quickly before we proceed. Yes, so this is the zone I am talking about on the 4-hour time frame. Once 4-hour price action breaks below it, wait for the 15 minutes time frame, pull back into that zone, then trade into the downside. So that is that for this week. Thanks for staying to the end of this video. Once again, if you want to grab the opportunity that Headway Broker is offering, the link is going to be in the description and the pinned comment section of this video down below. I wish you a successful trading week, and I'm going to see you in the next video. Bye guys.